In this video today, we're going to hear from 3 members of our industry, discussing the importance of communication. We want to ensure the audience understands the information, whether it's complex and technical, at both the design phase, the construction phase, and for the life cycle of a building.
Communication is an absolute must for successful projects. If you don't talk and have an open line of communication, the project will not be successful.
Communication is vital in the building industry for delivering projects because you have so much information weighted on the outcome and a successful outcome.
If we don't communicate well and we don't establish the ground rules at the beginning of the project, at the beginning of our tenure as their strata manager, we can find that owners' corporations can become dysfunctional. So our role in that space is to make sure that everyone knows their part, to make sure that we keep everybody together and aligned in looking after that building, and make sure that in return we're meeting their expectations.
So a recent example of poor communication was a complying development certificate application that was lodged, and there was some form of miscommunication along the way and incorrect information was supplied, which actually led to me not being able to issue the certificate. So that led to a lot of time delays and also financial loss.
From a safety perspective, communication is vital. Signage, whether it be the principal contractor's details or the safety details, what you can and can't wear, what's prescribed and what's not, it has to be a fine balance of not too much information, otherwise the whole thing is pointless. Even when elements or sections or zones of a building almost finished and they are defect free, keeping people out is key to handing a project over in its, all its glory and mint condition. Having people walking through, clients as well, walking through thinking they've got a licence to walk through when they haven't, is poor communication.
We as strata managers use various different types of communication. So we meet with our owners in person at meetings, we hold electronic meetings, we email, we text message, we post, we call. So we use all sorts of different forums. Some bigger owners corporations and bigger developments have specialist software involved in their development, and that's also a way that we can communicate with them as well.
Basic forms of communication often work better than systems that become contrived and often conflated with the perception that they should have some amazing silver bullet to fix everything when they don't. They're only as good as the information you feed into them. In my experience, 32 years in construction, let's just stick to plain English. Jargon's not going to help anyone. Plain English, everyone understands.
When we're referring to different parts of legislation or different obligations that we have, that we really ensure that our owners understand what that terminology is.
Obviously, we as certifiers, we know all the technical jargon and the way that things work legislatively, but you have to break it down in a way that someone who doesn't know those things will be able to understand what you need. I think it's always important to listen to your client and put yourself in their shoes. If you can't understand their position, it's hard to be able to communicate what you need to.
So building trusting relationships is key to making sure that customer communication is effective. We need to do that by making sure that they have the confidence in us as their trusted advisors. Their strata manager needs to be someone who can help them, who can help resolve whatever it is that is going on, and who can facilitate a way forward with whatever situation is arising at the time.
Building that trust among the subcontractors and principal contractors and other parties on site is probably best done by having a relaxed environment. The trust is built by knowing the person you're speaking to is engaged with what you're saying.
I always like to have a bit of a friendly phone call just to make sure that we're on the same page and they understand that I'm available to assist with any queries. I'd rather the client come and ask me questions than just take it upon themselves to make a decision on site that ultimately would mean that they don't get the certification.
Communication is the key. The relationship that we form with customers over that journey is also the key, and that's going to ensure the outcome we're looking for.
So I think communication, you have to have it in order to build and maintain professional relationships, and also to give your clients confidence in what you're providing to them.
We all want to live and work in buildings that are safe. Communication is the key, from the beginning of the construction phase, during construction, and after construction. Our industry members have highlighted the importance of open communication, building trustworthy relationships at each integral phase of the design and construction process. The people of New South Wales deserve to have confidence that the buildings that they're living and working in are safe.